Today, we need to talk about TXT Soobin being forced to leave a crowded area. I wanted to get into Sasaeng's apparently targeting Soobin and his recent dating theories, and then we have the CEO addressing TXT and what happened there. So hey Dumplings, it's David Desai. Hater or not, make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on. Grab your dumplings, hey spilling mug merch, and let's go. TXT has recently been doing their comeback and have been doing their tour. There actually are some venues, I think, that are not sold out yet. I think California, I'm not entirely sure. But if you want to snag a ticket, make sure to look into that. This tour has been something that has definitely been a big deal for TXT and a way to show how far they have come as a group. They are likely not considered a rookie group anymore, and they're making big waves. Bang PD, if you are unaware, is someone who used to be the CEO of Hive and the founder of Big Hit. Bang PD stepped down as CEO as he likely didn't enjoy the pressure of running a multi-billion-dollar company, and he just liked the music making aspect. The CEO obviously does not deal with much of that, but deals with more of the internal logistics, funding, investors, and many of the boring stuff. However, it was awesome to see Bang PD actually post about TXT, as he hasn't posted in a little bit. One of the last things he posted was with Suga and Jungkook, and so fans were very excited to see Bang PD back when he posted about TXT recently. He posted a photo of all of them together backstage, and he posted to say that this was their first ever stadium tour, which is obviously such a huge deal. Can you believe our boys have a big stadium tour? Insane. For many years, they were known as BTS's successor, and while of course we can't discredit that a lot of the fandom was and still are ARMYs, we have to acknowledge that TXT has also found their own fandom and carved their own path a bit as well. I've been trying to react to a bit more of TXT over on Patreon. If you're interested, we do have a limited $1 tier that is available over there. We have a great time laughing and enjoying the music. If you are interested in being a part of the community over there, I will link it below. When Bang PD posted this, it was a very cute way to say that Bang is incredibly proud of the work that TXT does. He's incredibly proud of all of the boys and the efforts they have put in. Bang PD not only attended the backstage portion, took a photo, and left, but he attended the show. Fans spotted him in the audience for a little bit, and people immediately recognized him and were screaming at him. They were excited screams. When the former CEO and founder makes their way to a show, you know it's a big deal, especially since it's not like you wouldn't have other artists to attend to or things to do. If Jungkook or Taeyang are working on an album, then they both need some help from Bang too. And then other artists like New Jeans and Le Seraphim. So Bang showing up and celebrating. It's possible to say something big is to come, or he full-heartedly supports the success of TXT right now. And of course, groups and artists like BTS really don't need too much support from their label. They're veterans, they know what they need to do and how to get it, and they just know the process. Bang can fully trust that even if he doesn't show up, BTS can run a concert successfully. Whereas a newer artist and even a group that may not have ever had a stadium tour before is going to be more needing of hand-holding for such an event. It's no doubt that the impact of TXT has gotten so big. Some people were talking about an older moment and a moment where we see TXT at the airport. They were likely going on tour then as well. Some people thought the footage was of them at a show or a venue, but it seemed to be at the airport. We see the boys get extremely crowded and mobbed by alleged Sasaengs or stalkers at the airport. And I've mentioned this before, especially with artists that are smaller. You tend to think that they are not going to get mobbed at an airport. So it's harder for labels to prepare for that and thus protect their artist. In America, artists can literally hit 30+ million views on every music video they put out and not get mobbed when they go to the airport. Charlie Puth is pretty successful and really doesn't get mobbed when he travels. There's a small crowd, but it seems to be his team rather than a bunch of fans showing up. You can see how uncomfortable and unused to this type of thing all the members of TXT are when traveling in the airport. You see Soobin literally grabbing all the members' arms and dragging the other members slowly out of the airport while the staff is trying to guide them. I wish some of these people that are at the airport would understand that this is so dangerous, and mobbing and overcrowding is literally so dangerous. We've seen very extreme cases where we have the Itaewon situation that is literally overcrowding to the max, and we saw that people died. This isn't even about causing the members a bit of anxiety by overcrowding, because that is a bit subjective. Some idols would deal with a situation like this really well and really not be anxious at all, while others will literally have a panic attack. So just please be careful when doing this. But in a moment like this, we can tell that no matter how much you prepare, you can never know what it's going to be like when you're at the airport and followed by 100 people. In moments like this, you can see Soobin's struggling and just trying to make sure everyone gets out of the airport safe and effectively. I would say a lot of this type of behavior comes from this idea that the members are touchable. So if Beyonce is walking by, I don't think too many people even consider or attempt to touch her. There's many fears of getting shot or whatever. Whereas if it's TXT right out of the trainee program, you're thinking, oh wow, they're at my level, we can date and be friends. The actual reality of it is that even before they get into the trainee program, they're not at our level. For labels other than Hive, a lot of the trainees have to pay a hefty sum to even afford the training. So right off the bat, we're talking about people who are already somewhat wealthy. And if not that, you can't even get into the next stages of the trainee program if you are not already more talented than the average person. So you have to have essentially already had years of training. And then the fact that when idols come out of training like TXT, they're already super famous. So no, they're not touchable. The people we see on TV and the musicians that have a big debut are the 1% of 1% of musicians. Most musicians don't even get such opportunities. But TXT, after having some sold out shows and stadium tours, I think the mass majority has finally been able to recognize TXT as a bigger group now. That's just my opinion. And the newer moments we see of TXT going from city to city, we see less of these types of crazy crowding. Since TXT is being talked about more, the idea of who Soobin is dating recently started to become a big topic of conversation. There's so many ship moments that exist. People would ship Soobin with Yeonjun, and that is just a very popular one. They have a lot of cute moments where they almost kiss each other, and the boys are very cute and chummy with each other. Soobin is also heavily shipped with Hyunin Kai. There was a viral moment where someone jokingly edited Soobin and Hyunin Kai together in a parking garage, and the joke was that Dispatch was announcing that the two were dating because of the hand position. I thought this was very cute and funny. I really loved it. When posts like this go viral, there's always haters and people being upset to claim that this is not a joke and that the post needs to be deleted. And my thought is, just because you don't find it funny, it doesn't mean it's not a joke and doesn't mean it needs to be deleted. There's plenty of things I don't support and don't like. I don't go on Trump's Twitter account and repeatedly post delete on every post. Well, maybe I should do that, but I think these moments are meant to be funny jokes, and if you don't agree with the ship, then move on. Also, admitting it's funny doesn't mean you believe that the two are dating, just that you think it's funny. I tend to feel a lot of K-pop fans try so hard to have power and go on a power frenzy, like you're gonna do what I say or stop defending such and such idols. These are very common phrases I see. How about you stop telling people what to do? These people literally are not anyone's mother and literally have no power to do anything. Power comes from the ability to impact someone's life. A post that is about two idols being shipped together for some reason has the power to impact their life in such a way that they're so triggered. But I want them to know the words they say have no power. It doesn't impact anyone and doesn't actually make anyone want to delete anything. And if you see those comments, I urge you to say you have no power to them. The shipping moment and the alleged fake Dispatch leak comes from the fact that Soobin often ships with every member of TXT, and there's a lot of moments where Soobin is playfully kissing all of the members. There's even several tweets that talk about Soobin and Hyunin Kai kissing, but we have not seen anything major come out of that. Members are allowed to be playful and cute with each other without them actually dating. Soobin and Yeonjun are probably the most heavily shipped, and Yeonjun has a lot of moments in which you will get very close to a member, and people often take those moments to ship. People were concerned if Soobin actually does date one day, what would happen, and if he were to get hit by Sasaengs or stalkers in real life. I think it's possible, just like any other artist, but overall I've seen a lot of TXT fans or MOAs be very kind. All of the women that Soobin interacts with do not receive a ton of death threats. There are some people who are jealous and are jokingly upset, but nothing really bad. So I am hoping to see a change with the newer generation of K-pop. Let me know what you think. Make sure you check out my Patreon for more videos, link down below. Thanks for this lovely comment right here. Love you, bye.